Good day, grateful learners. Welcome to another Matherific Day here in Valenzuela Live Mathematics 4. Today is another exciting day to learn a new concept in mathematics. I am JV Amismal of Antonio M. Serapio Elementary School, your FB Live teacher for today. So come on, get your pen, paper, and self-learning module for taking down notes and use the comment section below to type in your concerns regarding our lesson. Let's start to learn and explore mathematics. We are now in Quarter 3, Week 4 of the most essential learning competencies. For today's lesson, you should be able to first relates triangles to quadrilaterals and relates one quadrilateral to another quadrilateral. Example, square to rhombus. Before we proceed to our topic, let us review some related lesson that was discussed in the previous FB Live. Our activity entitled Name It. You are going to name each figure being presented. You are given 10 seconds to do it. Are you ready, grade 4 learners? If you are ready, kindly give me thumbs up in our comment section. I think you are now prepared. Let's start. Figure number 1. Your timer starts now. Time's up. If you answered square, great job. Let's have our second figure. Your timer starts now. Time's up. If you guessed triangle, you got it. Awesome. Our third figure is, your timer starts now. Time's up. If your answer a parallelogram, well done. Let's proceed to the fourth figure. Your timer starts now. Time's up. If you answered is a rectangle, you are correct. The last figure. Your timer starts now. Time's up. This figure is a trapezoid. Did you get it right? Amazing job. It seems that you already knew the different plane figures. Great job, grade 4 learners. Now, I want to show you a picture. What can you say about this picture? Perfect. It's a family. Do you know what composes a family? Yes, exactly. A typical family is composed of a father, mother, and children. Each member of a family has a unique roles and responsibilities. They have a strong relationship with each other that connected them. This time, I'm going to show you another family. What is our second family? That's right. It's a polygons family. What can you say about this family? Very good. Like the family in our first picture, polygons such as triangle, quadrilaterals, and other polygons have their unique characteristics and relate to each other. What figure is shown? Correct. It's a triangle. What are the characteristics of a triangle? Yes, it's a three-sided polygon. What else? It has three angles and three vertices. What about this figure? What is it? That's right. It's a quadrilateral. What are the characteristics of a quadrilateral? Exactly. It's a four-sided polygon. What else? It has four angles and four vertices. Now try to look at this figure again. What can you say about a triangle and a quadrilateral? That's right. Both triangle and quadrilaterals are closed plane figures and polygons. Is there any relationship between a triangle and a quadrilateral? Yes, there is. There is a relationship between a triangle and a quadrilateral. But what is it? Just like what you have observed in this set of figures, a quadrilateral can be formed using two triangles. This time, let's find out how different quadrilaterals were formed by triangles. First, let's have two congruent right triangles to form a rectangle. When we say right triangle, it is a triangle with an angle measures exactly 90 degrees as shown in the figure. Next, two congruent isosceles right triangle to form a square. An isosceles right triangle is a triangle with two sides equal and an angle measures exactly 90 degrees. Then let's have two congruent isosceles triangle to form a rhombus. An isosceles triangle is a triangle with two congruent sides. Another, two triangles with a pair of congruent sides from the vertices of congruent angles to form a trapezoid. When we say congruent sides, they have the same or equal length, and congruent angles means same or equal measures of angles. Lastly, we have two congruent triangles to form a parallelogram. Congruent triangles are any triangles with equal sides and equal angles. Again, there is a relationship between a triangle and a quadrilateral. Any quadrilateral can be formed by two triangles. Let's have our first activity. Identify the quadrilateral formed by each of the given statement. You are given 10 seconds to choose whether your answer is letter A or B figure. You may type in your answer in the comment section. Let's begin. Number 1. It is formed by two congruent triangles. Is it A, trapezoid, or B, parallelogram? Your timer starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is letter B, parallelogram. Did you get the same answer as parallelogram? Great job! Next, it is formed by two congruent isosceles right triangle. Is it A, square, or B, rhombus? Your timer starts now. Time's up. Is your answer letter A, square, Amazing! You're right. Number 3. It is formed by two congruent right triangles. Is it A, trapezoid, or B, rectangle? Your timer starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is letter B, rectangle. Did you get it right? Awesome. Next, it is formed by two congruent isosceles triangle. Is it A, square, or B, rhombus? Your timer starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is letter B, rhombus. Did you get the correct answer? Yes, fantastic. Lastly, it is formed by two triangles with a pair of congruent sides from vertices of two congruent angles. Is it A, trapezoid, or B, rectangle? Your timer starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is letter A, trapezoid. Did you get it right? Yes, perfect. How was your score grade for learners? Did you get 4 or 5? Clap, clap, clap. Great job. Now, try to look at this figure. What can you say about this figure? Exactly, they are all quadrilaterals. Let us first describe each of the quadrilaterals. First, we have a parallelogram. What is the characteristic of a parallelogram? Correct. It's a quadrilaterals with two pairs of opposite sides parallel. Then we have rectangle. What is the characteristic of a rectangle? Good job. It's a parallelogram with four right angles. Now we have rhombus. What is the characteristic of a rhombus? Great! It's a parallelogram with four congruent sides. Next, we have a square. What is the characteristic of a square? Amazing! It's a parallelogram that is both rectangle and rhombus. Lastly, we have a trapezoid. What is the characteristic of a trapezoid? Fantastic. It has one pair of opposite sides parallel. Since we already knew the characteristic of each quadrilateral, try to observe the figure again. Is there any relationship among quadrilaterals? Yes. Just like a triangle that relates with a quadrilateral also relates with another quadrilateral. How? Let's find out. First, a parallelogram is a quadrilateral. Why? It is because a parallelogram has the characteristics of a quadrilateral having four sides, four vertices, and four angles. Next, we have a rectangle is a parallelogram. Why? Since a rectangle has two pairs of opposite sides parallel, then it is classified as parallelogram. Then we have a rhombus is a parallelogram. Why? For the reason, a rhombus has two pairs of opposite sides parallel, that means it is classified as parallelogram. Another, we have a square is both rectangle and rhombus. Why? It is because a square has the characteristic of a rectangle having four right angles and has four equal sides, same as the characteristic of a rhombus. Next, we have a trapezoid is a quadrilateral. Why? Since a trapezoid has four sides, four vertices, and four angles, then it is classified as quadrilateral. Another, we have a trapezium is a quadrilateral. Why? Same as trapezoid, a trapezium has the characteristics of a quadrilateral, having 4 sides, 4 vertices, and 4 angles. Lastly, we have a kite is a quadrilateral. Why? It is because a kite, just like trapezoid and trapezium, it has also 4 sides, 4 vertices, and 4 angles. Then, it is classified as quadrilateral. Now, can you give me a heart sign in our comment section if you are still here with me? All right, I can see your comments. You are still with me. Let us proceed to our second activity. Let's see if you have already learned the relationship among quadrilaterals. For us to know your answer to our activity, please feel free to type in your answers in our comment section. Our activity is true or false. You need to tell if the given statement is true or false. If the statement is true, hit the happy face icon, and if false, use the sad face icon. You are given 10 seconds to answer. Are you ready, grade 4 learners? Let's start. For number 1, a square is a rectangle. Your timer starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is a happy face. Did you get it right? Amazing. A square is a rectangle because it has 4 right angles. Number 2, a rhombus is a parallelogram. Your timer starts now. Time is up. If you answered a happy face, fantastic job. A rhombus is a parallelogram since it has 2 pairs of opposite sides parallel. Let's proceed to the third statement. A trapezoid is a parallelogram. Time's up. If you answered a sad face, awesome. A trapezoid is not a parallelogram for it has only 1 pair of opposite sides parallel, not just like a parallelogram having 2 pairs of opposite sides parallel. Number 4 statement. A rectangle is sometimes a square. Your timer starts now. Time's up. Did you get the same answer as a happy face? Great job! A rectangle is sometimes a square if all the sides are equal or congruent. The last statement is a parallelogram is a trapezoid. Your timer starts now. Time's up. If you answered sad face, you got it. Perfect. A parallelogram is not a trapezoid since it has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Did you get a score of 4 and 5? Clap, clap, clap. Amazing job. Now, to sum up today's lessons, here are some points to remember. There is a relationship between a triangle and a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral can be formed using 2 triangles. Next, we have a rectangle is formed by 2 congruent right triangles. Another, we have a square is formed by 2 congruent isosceles right triangles. Next, a rhombus is formed by 2 congruent isosceles triangles. Then we have a trapezoid is formed by two triangles with a pair of congruent sides from the vertices of two congruent angles. Next, a parallelogram is formed by two congruent triangles. Now, the relationship among quadrilaterals. A parallelogram, trapezoid, trapezium, and kite are all quadrilaterals. Next, we have a square, rectangle, and rhombus are parallelograms. Then we have square is a rhombus and at the same time a rectangle. Then we have a rhombus is sometimes a square and a rectangle is sometimes a square. We have a parallelogram is not a trapezoid and a trapezoid is not a parallelogram. Now, it's time for our question and answer portion. You are given 1 minute to type in your questions or concerns in the comment section regarding our lesson. I will try my best to answer your questions or clarify your concerns easily. Your timer starts now. Time is up. We have here our first question. Sir, can we use any of the triangles to form a quadrilateral? Thank you for your question. The answer is yes. You can use any of the triangles to form a quadrilateral as long as they have congruency, either on their sides or both sides and angles, depending on the quadrilateral you want to form, just like what we had in our discussion a while ago. One more question? Yes, we have another question here. Sir, can we consider all quadrilateral as parallelogram? Good question. The answer is no. Not all quadrilaterals are parallelogram. A quadrilateral can only be classified as parallelogram if it has two pairs of parallel sides. For instance, a square, a rhombus, and a rectangle are parallelogram, while trapezoid and trapezium are not parallelogram because it has only one or no pair of parallel sides. Since we don't have any more questions, I hope you are satisfied with the given answers. This is your activity at home or home learning task. Draw two triangles to form the following quadrilaterals. And B, using the drawing at the right, tell whether the figure labeled by each letter is a triangle or a quadrilateral. Checking your activity will be done by your discussion teacher. This ends our discussion grade for learners. I hope you learned a lot today about the relationship between a triangle and a quadrilaterals and the relationship among quadrilaterals. I am so glad and thankful for your active participation. Again, I am your Math FE Live teacher, JVA Nismal, saying, think math, do math, and learn the way you want. See you again in our next discussion. Keep safe, everyone. Goodbye.